celebrating 250 years of freedom. This is Oklahoma's Talk Radio, the new Freedom 96.9 and Freedom969.com. Our hosts are always right. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will be mostly cloudy with a chance of a thunderstorm reaching a high of 79 tonight. Expect cloudy skies with a low of 62. Tomorrow will bring a mix of clouds and sunshine with temperatures reaching a high of 83. On Monday, there will be a mix of sun and clouds with highs around 86. Tuesday, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions with a chance of thunderstorms in some parts of the area in the afternoon with temperatures reaching 85. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's Talk Radio.
Broadcasting live from the command center of Freedom 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma, saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with Hague Certified Master Level Damage Inspector, Oklahoma Licensed Public Adjuster, Fortified Evaluator, and IBHS Fortified Roofing Contractor, Scott McCullum.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Also here, Hague Certified Wind and Commercial Roofing Inspector, Scotty McCullum.
Good morning, Rick.
Retro Radio Randy is back on probation again this week. So we're not going to let him talk other than scream in the background. Hey, if you don't stop, I'm going to nail your other foot to the floor. You, however, can hear his voice when you call 405-608-4377. We are live streaming today on the YouTube channel, so Scott's waving at you right now. And we're also streaming the audio on freedom969.com. We'll start, as usual, with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week, the phone number to answer the trivia question or to just ask a question, which is always encouraged, 405-608-4377. Later, we'll have Scotty's view from the rooftop, and we'll have some after-the-storm tips brought to you by RoofRx, and we'll wrap up with Dad's Wisdom. And coming back from breaks, of course, some official, obscure historical trivia. Now, guys, I was teaching a class at the for FAA investigators this week, and as I was packing up afterwards, a guy from Shreveport came up and said that he had been asked to tell me, remember to say that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 800000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing.
I think what's more obscure about that, Rick, is that he was told to tell you that by his cabbie.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's too many layers.
Yeah. It
goes deep.
It does go deep. If I were a conspiracy theorist, I could have a field day with that.
Oh,
Have you ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I have. Okay, gentlemen, let's get started. Hey, this is Memorial Day weekend.
It is. And I'm going to say it now. Remember a veteran and thank one who's still with us, please.
Yeah, and remember the fallen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so our trivia question, Scott?
All right, here we go. So IBHS, the Institute for Business and Home Safety, celebrated what milestone this past week? Was it A, 75,000 fortified designations, B, 100,000, C, 125,000, or D, 150,000 fortified designations?
If you think you know the answer to that, 405-608-4377. Now, when you talk about designated fortifications, that's individual homes, right?
Individual homes. That's
or
correct.
businesses.
Yep. So this could be a fortified roof designation for high wind and hail or hurricane. This could be a fortified gold or silver residential new home designation.
Okay.
So anyway, but
wildfire protection kind of thing?
this number does not include wildfire
Okay.
designations.
So this
number is
roofing?
homes.
Okay.
This number is homes.
All right.
Yep.
So if you think you know how many fortified designations the IBHS celebrated this past week, give us a call, 405-608-4377. 75,000, 100,000, 125,000, or 150,000.
I would have to put a wild guess to it.
Yeah. And this is you might ask your Google about this. The winner will get their choice of 2 books, either Raving Fans or Unreasonable Hospitality, or 2 free tickets to any Carpenter Square Theater production the rest of this season. And I will say that the next to the last show of the season opened last night. It is called Looped, and oh my goodness, what an incredible production! If it does have some very salty language in it, oh my goodness, I don't think there's a desalination plant on the planet that could clean up the language in this play. But it is a beautiful play. It's well written and incredibly acted. The actress playing Tallulah Bankhead truly embodies. Her name's Ellen Baird, and she truly embodies Tallulah Bankhead. I mean, it's delightful.
Wow.
And it's very funny. There are some very touching, serious moments, mainly in the second act. But what a wonderful play.
Hey, Rick, on the trivia question prizes.
Okay.
We're gonna up the ante here.
Oh.
Okay. We're gonna up the ante starting next week.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to take the book offers off the table.
Okay.
Given Carly says I've given away way too many books, so we're going to take the book offers off the table, and we have created and formalized the maintenance programs, and we're going to offer as one of the prizes. We're going to offer anyone who wins a 50% discount on their first year's maintenance premium with Roof RX. So that's going to start next week, and we'll have some more information about where you can go to look at those plans and understand ultimately what they're going to do for you to extend the life of that roof, to mitigate risk for you, and to provide data and information for you to share with your producer and your insurance carrier. It's going to be very, very, very important going forward.
Okay. So once again, our trivia question, IBHS celebrated what milestone this past week for fortified designations? 75,000, 100,000, 125,000, or 150,000? 405-608-4377. All right, young Scotty McCullum, what's our word of the week?
It's a phrase of the week today, Rick, and it's called sea change.
Sea change.
Sea change is an idiomatic expression meaning a profound, noticeable, or complete transformation, typically in attitude, perspective, or public opinion about a particular topic in our society or potentially in an industry.
Okay. All right. And I guess we'll find out more about that as we go on.
Yes, we've got some specific examples to talk about in roofing that Scott and I have talked about very recently.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
All right.
Oh.
We have 4 minutes before we need to go to break.
We'll jump right in.
No one's on the phone, so do tell.
Well, after following up on the question of the week, the trivia question about fortified.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had a pretty active storm season in Oklahoma so far, but we've also had several pretty significant regional storms in the south central part of the United States.
Yeah.
And it's something that Scott and I talked about at coffee this morning, that it's a little sad how resistant people are to look into better options and how quick they are to just let the door knocker knock on their door, let them up on the roof, file the claim, and put it exactly back together like it was 2 weeks ago.
That's the way we've always done it.
Yep. And a sea change is the complete opposite of that. It's a change in mindset, a change in perspective, and indicates to me a way of thinking that shed some light on a better future or
so this is what has
a better methodology.
So this is what needs to happen. This is why we're here, is that we need that sea change. We need that sea change in the insurance restoration and in the roofing space. We need for consumers to understand the kind of the idiocy of what we have always done. We go through, we know where we live, we can't do anything about the weather, and we choose not to do anything about what we build. That's a choice that we make as consumers, okay? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's one of those things that if you look at your insurance premiums and you cringe when you complain about the insurance company, look in the mirror, okay? Let's look in the mirror. The insurance company is paying you. Scotty's been in Chickasha a lot this week and says basically every roof in Chickasha is going to get replaced.
Oh, my.
I said, yeah. But I'd say there's a lot of different types of material down there, tile and slate and shake and commercial roofing systems. But I said about half of all of Chickasha, residential and commercial, if you just take about half will need new roofs.
So when you look at it, you say, what would a sea change be? A sea change would be that the citizens of Chickasha, Oklahoma were educated by producers and agents, by their city leaders, by people in the community, the business community, people they trust, their churches, everywhere, homeowners associations, that you have got to build back better. All right? Don't worry about how much money you can keep in your pocket from the insurance company's claim. Spend every bit of that money, pay your deductible, and put whatever else into the pot that you can reasonably afford to do to build back better. The simple truth of the matter is that we replace roofs every time a hailstorm comes around that absolutely should not have to be replaced. Wow. And we know how to build better. We know what the products are. We know what the systems are. We know what the technology and methodology is. But consumers have to demand, and they have to make that choice.
Well, and you're teasing the dad's wisdom that will come up at the end of the show.
I am.
But we'll get to there soon
later.
Enough.
To be continued. After the segment.
You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Our trivia question is still out there. IBHS celebrated what milestone this past week? 75,000 fortified designations, 100,000, 125,000, or 150,000?
And I need an answer to that trivia question soon so that we can get into some other things in our show.
405-608-4377. Call now.
Every property owner knows the pain of rising insurance costs, higher premiums, higher deductibles, and more exclusions than ever before. You may have even received a non-renewal notice or a letter stating your roof no longer meets our underwriting requirements and your policy will be canceled in 30 days. You don't know the condition of your roof, you're not a roofer, but neither does the underwriter, and they're making decisions that affect your coverage. RoofRx brings clarity to where uncertainty once lived. We're not roofers looking for work. We're certified inspectors dedicated to truth and transparency. We combine state-of-the-art imaging with generations of roofing expertise to reveal the true condition of your roof and maximize its remaining life. We turn complex data into a clear prescription, what can be maintained, what needs repaired, and what needs replaced. We perform and document that work for you and your insurance carrier and provide the peace of mind of lifetime workmanship warranties and money-back guarantees. It's not about replacing roofs. It's about helping you understand the true condition of your roof, mitigate your risk, and protect your insurability. RoofRx, the prescription for your ailing roof.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the second portion of this morning's live call-in show. Now, about 30 years ago, I had to start wearing bifocals. I knew I was an adult when I had to wear bifocals. Well, I can thank Benjamin Franklin for that, because on this date of May the 23rd, 1785, Benjamin Franklin described his invention of bifocals in a letter to a friend of his.
Interesting.
On this date in 1861, 3 Virginia slaves, Frank Baker, Shepard Mallory, and James Townsend, escaped, rowing across Hampton Roads to Fort Monroe, Virginia, and they were declared the first contraband of war the next day. Now, the reason this is important is because the General Ben Butler, who was the general in command of Fort Monroe, Carpenter Square Theater did a play about this 2 years ago at this very time.
Cool.
Right.
That's very
Awesome.
cool.
Awesome
So
play.
now, society said escape slaves, you return them, even if you didn't agree with slavery. That was sort of the law. But he didn't want to send these guys back because he knew that they would be whipped and probably killed. So he declared that they were contraband because the slaves had been used to build fortifications against the Union.
There you go.
And because the South declared slaves as property, they were on equal footing with cannons and mules, and therefore, spoils of war, we get to keep what we capture from your.
Interesting.
Wow.
And that actually turned the tide in the war and convinced Lincoln to write the Emancipation Proclamation. All of that just because 3 guys rowed across a river
There you go.
to get away.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So we are in the second portion of the show this morning. We're talking about fortified roofs, and our friend Benny is already on the line. Benny, it's awfully early in the morning, but you did hear Scott say call now.
Let's see if he knows the answer.
All right, Benny, let's hear your answer. How many?
Hold on. He's not ready yet.
He's talking to Randy.
Yeah. All right, so there it is. Good morning, Benny.
Good morning.
How many fortified designations did IBHS celebrate this week? 75,000, 100,000, 125, or 150?
Well, I'm not from the government, but I am here to help because I got a 100% chance of getting this one wrong because I have no clue.
So A, B, C, or D? Just pick a letter.
I'm going to pick a 70,
Oh, the 75?
75. Yeah.
Well, that's wrong.
Boo.
That's all right. At least I give them somebody else a better shot.
Yeah, you just narrowed their choices down. You sure did.
Well, I'm trying to help. I'm not from the government, but I am trying to help.
I understand.
And we love you for it, Benny.
All right.
Hey, you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day, and let us remember what it's about because
Absolutely.
my dad, my uncle, and a great friend and mentor who almost died on Peleliu during that terrible campaign.
Yep.
They're all gone now. But they served, and my dad
War
was
is
a
hell.
machine gunner in the Pacific twice. First
Wow.
underage, found out, sent home.
Wow.
And then when he turned legal, they turned around and pulled him back in and sent him back to the Pacific as a machine gunner.
Oh, my God.
And he got wounded the second time out.
Oh, my.
But I was a bun in the oven on the way in between. In fact, he was still serving when I came along.
All right.
All right.
All right,
That's
thank you, Benny.
My little biography there.
Okay. All right,
Have a
buddy.
great one, guys.
Appreciate
All right.
you. Thank
Enjoy
you.
your weekend.
All right. Well, Benny tried. He helped out the rest of you. So anyway.
All right, so our choices now for the celebration of milestones from IBHS are 100,000, 125,000, or 150,000. 405-608-4377. 3 choices. Hey, you got a 33% chance of getting it right. All right, gentlemen, what's next?
So Scotty,
I
tell us.
figured we would pick back up where we left off
Yep.
before the commercial break.
Good idea.
I was going to talk about how we almost exclusively install Class 4 roofs these days.
Right.
I mean, that's about, I'd say, 85 or better percent
Right.
of the roofs that we put on, and it's been increasing over the last decade. But we always, from the time Scott started McRoof has always tried to educate people about a better way of doing things compared to what failed them before. And those roofs in Chickasha that Scott mentioned I looked at last over the week, 3 of 6 that I looked at were just fine.
These
because
are
they were
clients of yours?
Not all of them. Not all
Okay,
of them.
but they all had
But
Class 4 roofs.
Two of the three that were fine were Class 4 roofs that had maybe a blemish or two. The two that I looked at that were our installs did not have any.
Those were McRoofs.
Any blemishes except for on the metal surfaces, which you could expect with some some egg size, some tennis ball, and some baseball size hail.
And in some cases, the roof that he was looking at that we just recently installed with SBS modified flex technology was right next to a premium luxury roof from another manufacturer that was absolutely destroyed.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my.
Yeah, I mean, a few-year-old Class 4 roof, even if it was 15 years old, we know that it would have outperformed that significantly more expensive roof that sat less than 100 yards away and got really badly beat up.
All right, well, let's go to Chad on the line. He wants to take a shot at the trivia questions. Chad, are you there?
Hey, yes, sir.
Hey,
All
Chad,
right.
good morning.
So how many fortified designations do you think IBHS celebrated this past week? 100, 125, or 150,000?
So this is going to be a complete guess, just like the last gentleman. I'm going to say 125.
Oh,
Oh,
no. Okay.
we are narrowing it down though, Chad. I
Hey,
appreciate
I just want to
it,
say
man.
real quick, thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks for listening.
All
man.
right, so that leaves us with just two choices left on this, either 100,000 or 150,000. And I'm not going to flip all the cards, like they did on What's My Line, but I will say, does the term "split the difference" mean anything to you?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
405-608-4377.
I hope it's Carpenter Square tickets, so he's paying for them. So
I don't mind at all.
Since he gave it away,
I don't mind at all.
So anyway, Scotty, go ahead, son.
With what?
Well, you were talking about.
I can't remember.
You were talking about the roofs in Chickasha. And this ties into some other things we want to talk about anyway. We tell the stories of kind of tell the stories of what we do at McRoof and what Roof RX is all about. We call those truth wins, and we tell those in the way that how is that a changed outcome for a consumer? What does that look different, because of what we did or how we educated people about what was available to them. And we tell those stories from the standpoint of a roof owner, an asset manager, an agent or producer, an underwriter, a risk manager, a claims person, those kinds of things. So in any number of cases in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we have been on roofs that McRoof installed in some cases in the last couple of months, in some cases the last couple of years, in some cases many years ago, that absolutely stood up to everything that Mother Nature threw at them.
Wow.
All right?
Great.
We have roofs that have ridge shingles that have to be replaced because the ridges are damaged.
Right.
Ridges are going to be damaged because, number one, they have hollow space underneath them. They're not laying flat on a solid roof deck. Visualize a tabletop and a sheet of paper laying flat on that. That's not how a ridge is installed on a roof.
Right.
And so it is significantly more susceptible to hail damage. All right. When you get this hail that's 1.5, 2 inch, 3 inch bigger, you're going to have ridge damage. Right? That's not unexpected. Mm-hmm. That damage is economically minor relative to what everyone else is having to deal with. We have a lady who's paying, I think Scotty estimated $800 to repair all her ridges.
Which is really
her
nothing in
her
the
deductible is $7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah.
And everyone else in her neighborhood is getting a new roof.
Wow.
I'll take the $800.
And we got to go to break. 405-608-4377. It's McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma. Our trivia question is still out there. Just give us a call and say B or D. We'll be right back.
From the Strait of Hormuz to the Oklahoma City oil field, we're the local talk station you can depend on. The new Freedom 96.9. Freedom969.com and on the Freedom app. Freedom
Weather. Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will be mostly cloudy with a chance of a thunderstorm reaching a high of 79 tonight. Expect cloudy skies with a low of 62. Tomorrow will bring a mix of clouds and sunshine with temperatures reaching a high of 83. On Monday, there will be a mix of sun and clouds with highs around 86. Tuesday, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions with a chance of thunderstorms in some parts of the area in the afternoon with temperatures reaching 85. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's talk radio.
McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma, back on the air for the second half of this morning's live call-in program on Freedom 96.9. On this date in 1873, May 23rd, 1873, the first running of the Preakness. On this date in 1903, the first automobile trip across the U.S. left San Francisco on its way to New York City, where it arrived on July 26th. So it took 2 months to get across country in 1903.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I know people who can do it in 2 days.
what is the flower for the Preakness?
Oh, you got me.
Black-eyed
Susan from Retro Radio Randy.
Wow. Thank you, Randy.
On this date of May 23rd in 1922, Walt Disney incorporated his first film company. It was called Laugh-O-Gram Films.
Wow.
All right, so we've been talking fortified here, and our trivia question is still out there. The choices have whittled down. So the IBHS, the Institute for Business and Home Safety, celebrated what milestone this past week? 100,000 fortified designations or 150 fortified designations? If you think you know the answer, 405-608-4377. All right, So you mentioned being in Chickasha a lot this week, Scotty.
Well, I was all over
Okay.
all over I was really all over creation.
Burning up the highway, huh?
He was
this
in
week
Tulsa.
because it was my first week back from a week and a half of vacation.
Okay.
So it was let's see. I was somewhere outside of town on Tuesday or Monday. Then Wednesday I was in Chickasha. Friday I was in Tulsa, and Thursday I was in Chickasha. Wednesday I was in the city doing inspections because of the storms that occurred
Sure.
when I was gone. So I had
Right.
a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And Johnny needed plenty of assistance with estimates and reports so that he could get that information to his people that need to do something with their roof that he either inspected when I was gone or that he inspected more recently.
Okay.
So there's a lot of activity going on after those May 8th storms, that
Right.
Friday night storm.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Pretty much everywhere from Chickasha to Anadarko, Mustang, Yukon, and the
Southwest
west
Oklahoma City.
edges of OKC and northwest edges of OKC and southwest edges of Edmond.
Yeah.
Got it pretty good.
Yep.
I know we just had a little pea-sized hail for a couple of minutes is all we got at our place.
So we have a situation where I've got a roof that we're kind of going back and forth. Is it a warranty claim for the manufacturer, or is it an insurance claim? And just so people understand, it is what we try to do is we try to put things where the responsibility falls where it really should, from our technical competency and knowledge base. And one of the problems that I've had for a long time is that I have seen insurance carriers paying for roofs that quite honestly should have been manufacturer's warranty claims.
Ooh.
Okay. Where you have a roof that has failed for reasons other than direct storm damage. All right. And typically we're talking about wind would be a situation. If you have a shingle that has a manufacturer's warranty for wind to 130 or 150 miles an hour, and the highest documented wind event at that specific location, at that site, is 82 miles an hour, then why should the insurance company be paying a wind claim?
Right.
They shouldn't. It should have gone back to the manufacturer. And manufacturers don't necessarily like me saying this, but the reality of it is that insurance companies don't know the warranties that apply to a particular roof.
Right.
So that's not anything that gets considered by them in terms of their evaluation of a claim. This is one of the places where our RoofRx trust document, particularly at the claims packet level, which is the most extensive report that we build, that document will walk everyone through what the product is, what the warranties that applied to that product is, who installed that, if we know that, what the installer's workmanship warranties are, all of those kinds of things. That should become part of the evaluation of what needs to happen. I've seen situations where carriers have paid for roofs that should have gone back to the manufacturer for a manufacturer's defect claim. I have seen situations where manufacturers paid for roofs that should have gone back to a contractor because the roof was absolutely 100% undeniably incorrectly installed. All right? But manufacturers, rather than taking that black eye, there's an issue on this roof and we're going to pay for it, that let the contractor who actually created the situation by incorrectly installing, improperly ventilating, that kind of thing, that let that contractor 100% off the hook. RoofRx wants the truth to land based on the data set, and everyone in that ecosystem has to deal with that truth. We'll have someone says, a homeowner, well, couldn't you say that roof needs to be replaced? No, that's not what the data says. The data says that that roof is repairable. Contractor says, couldn't you say that roof needs to be replaced? No, that's not what the data says. Insurance company may say, couldn't you say that roof doesn't need to be replaced?
Right.
That's not how the game is played. The truth on the roof is the truth on the roof, and it applies universally across the ecosystem to everyone that has that document. Then they have to work together to decide how it all works itself out in equity for the parties. That's how that works.
Wow.
And that's not what's happening in the insurance restoration space right now.
Scotty, you ready to get back up on the roof?
I think so, Rick.
All right, hang on. It's windy out there. Hang on. Oh, man. I hate it when that happens. All right, Scotty, what's the view from the rooftop look like this week? What, do you have a title?
I do.
Yes.
A testament to resilience.
There
Testament to resilience.
There you go.
Yes.
Do tell.
Well, I've already told a little bit, but I'll tell a little more. Of those 3 roofs that I mentioned, I looked at I looked at 6 roofs in Chickasha on Thursday. 3 of them didn't need to be replaced. 3 of them did need to be replaced. There's door knockers on every. There's
Street,
signs
yeah.
almost in one neighborhood in particular. There's signs in almost every yard already.
Right.
And
Which, Rick, let me just stop him for just a second. That tells you that these people have already made a decision, signed something with a roofing contractor, have never even considered their options.
Right.
Okay? Just
Yep. That's kind of where I was going.
Yeah.
But these signs are from companies that I'm familiar with here in the city that must have sent guys and gals down to knock doors the night or the day after the storm took
before
place.
the hail melted.
Yeah, possibly. And those contractors, there's a couple that are good contractors who I have respect for. There's a couple that I can't say the same for.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just wanted to jump back to the fact that these people who have called us out to these neighborhoods, they already know what they're going to do. They already know they're going to put the Class 4 impact-resistant roofs on because they've either heard us on the radio talk about it, or they know us personally, or they're longtime friends of their agent, who is my agent too down there, who care about quality and longevity and don't want to have to hassle with this again.
Right.
But the few Class 4 roofs that we have down there, we flew the drone when I was still on vacation, actually, on a couple of those. And then the other one that I was able to inspect manually when I was down in Chickasha, not a single one of those needs even repairs on the hip and ridge shingles.
Wow.
Scott told you about how prone, because of the geometry of a ridge feature on a house or on a hip. Not any of those roofs need repairs to the hip and ridge. Nothing on the shingles at all. When every roof in those neighborhoods needs to be replaced now for probably the second time in 5 years or less. Some of them, have vent caps that are aluminum, need to be replaced.
Right.
But, it's like we talked about a few weeks ago with the lady out in Yukon who now, with her new roof, might need a few $100s or up to, say, $800 in repairs, and she's got an $8,000 deductible or potentially a $7,000 deductible.
Yeah.
Most people, I would agree, or I would venture to say, would agree with the statement that they would take less than $1,000 in repairs compared to having to replace the second roof in 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's foolish that people aren't asking these door knockers questions about the fact that they're opening their door for them. That's questionable to me anyways. But the fact that some of them seem not to ask questions about what kind of upgrades do you offer? What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again in less than 5 years or 10 years?
Well, and unfortunately, we know that a significant number of those companies that are down there won't even have those conversations with consumers.
Right.
A couple of them will.
Well, yeah. A few of them will, and most of them won't.
Okay.
But that's just how roofing goes. And do your homework. There's way better options out there for products. There's way better systems that combine components from different that are augmented and optimized to work together and optimize the lifespan of your roof and perform very well, if not almost guarantee that it's the last roof system that you'll ever have to put on, compared to just putting it back like it was before the hailstorm damaged it out.
Right. All right, with that, we'll take our final break. We'll be back for the final segment. After these words, our trivia question, one last call for your call. IBHS celebrated what milestone this past week in terms of fortified designations? 100,000 or 150,000? 405-608-4377. McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma one roof at a time. McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live call-in show on Freedom 96.9. On this date of May 23rd, 1934, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. Remember Bonnie and Clyde? Well, this was the day they were killed.
D-Day.
Ambush in, is it Sales, Louisiana?
It was their D-Day.
Yeah. And then, speaking of, on this date in 1945, the Allies arrested the members of the Nazi government, formally dissolving Nazi Germany.
There you go.
And then on this date in 1958, we've all used these. Cliff's Notes were first used in U.S. schools on this date in 1958.
And we thought that was cheating?
Yeah.
That was like,
yeah. All right. Hey, our good friend Benny is back on the air. But now, Benny, you don't get another shot at the trivia.
I prefaced that when I talked to Randy that I wasn't trying to utilize your glaring hint.
All right.
All right. But I didn't want Scott coming over the table at you.
All right. So what's your topic here?
Some observations I've made in my neighborhood. There's, like I said, there's a roofing sign. I think probably 2 or 3 for every block in the addition. It seems like, and new roofs that have gone back on, other than the synthetic underlayment, which seems to have replaced tar paper, thankfully. It's all going back, as you've lamented about, the same as it was before.
Exactly.
And I've also seen some flatbeds carrying roofing materials. And one of them I saw just the other day, it was a Tamco Class 3 impact-resistant shingle on its way somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, you mentioned that IR Class 3 have been approved for some, as long as the installations are done properly like you guys do.
There's only one Class 3 shingle that is approved for IBHS fortified high wind and hail designated roofs.
Okay.
And that is Certainty's landmark Class 3 rated shingle. That
okay, good to know. And that's just
Landmark
hopefully that little
Climate
bit of
Flex.
information
That
going
is
out over the airways will help customers make a better re-roofing decision.
Well, and helping people make better decisions is that whole idea of getting in front of the homeowners association, like you talked about, and being able to give people great information. And
Well,
I'll be happy
association
to
in my
arm
case.
you with information for church and for your HOA, Benny, so that you can be a mouthpiece for this, because that's what the messaging needs to be.
It sure does. And also on another radio show I listen to, and am a fairly often caller in or texter to, I mentioned that who I wanted for insurance commissioner and why.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in my life, I had made a election campaign donation because I feel that strongly about the qualifications of the candidate.
Appreciate
Our
that.
good friend Chris Meredith.
Appreciate that very much, Benny. Thank you.
So
sir.
that's all I wanted to add to the program. I forgot to do it earlier because
Okay.
I was licking my wounds over the wrong end.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Have a good weekend and
And
happy Memorial
remember
Day.
your dad, too, because
Okay.
he certainly served our nation well.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you,
appreciate
Benny.
Thank you. Be well, guys.
So I was talking about Benny's roof, obviously a McRoof, not fortified, but
Right.
it is a Certainty Integrity Roof System, SBS Modified Flex Technology. We checked his roof out, not a spot on it,
Wow.
other
Good.
than the metal vent caps and things like that.
Sure.
Just so I wanna appeal. I know we have listeners from Chickasha. I want to appeal to anyone in Chickasha as a specific example. Yukon could also be Southwest. It doesn't really matter where you are. I just want to appeal to our listeners. Please, 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 if you have the ability to get an HOA, or if you have ability to get a church or a school group together, or you have ability just to get a few friends together and talk about, we have got to quit doing what we have always done. I will talk to 2 people, or I will talk to 2,000 people about truth wins, about resiliency, about building better, about SBS modified technology, about all of the better roof systems and what you should do to be saving lives, protecting property, and mitigating risk. The bottom line is this, and insurance agents who are listening, if your clients are not being advised in this direction, please, please, please let me give you some information that you can put in their hands, not to sell McRoof, but to sell resilience, to sell saving lives, protecting property, and mitigating risk. Because if we do not mitigate risk for our insurance carriers, we are going to end up without being able to buy or afford coverage for roofs. People want to moan and groan about the premiums that you're paying every single year, okay? But yet, when it comes time to replace your roof, you're not thinking about anything that will prevent that from recurring again, and you're mad at the insurance company? Look in the mirror, okay? It's just that simple. We've got to educate people that you have to participate in mitigating risk, or you're not going to be able to afford insurance or get insurance on roofs. If you're complaining about the premium that you're paying right now, How much louder are you going to cry when now there is no roof coverage?
Right.
Now you're paying for the entire roof yourself. What is your mortgage company going to think about that?
Yeah.
Think about this,
Yeah.
folks. The time is now when you have the opportunity to replace, to do something better. It's just that simple. So,
All right, I'm going to flip all the cards and on the trivia question.
Oh, okay.
So, Scott,
Yeah.
you get to answer the question. How many of those fortified designations did IBHS celebrate this past week?
It's 100,000. Now, I want to put that in context,
Okay.
folks. It has taken IBHS about 15 years to get to that number. All right? 100,000.
That's not even 10,000 a year.
It is slightly more than 0.1% of every rooftop in America. That is not a sea change. We need a sea change. We don't have another 15 years to change what we're doing.
Sea change was our word of the week.
That was our, yeah, exactly. Okay. So this is the point. We need to be getting this messaging out. And I think producers, agents, brokers have to lead this. I think the carrier should be supporting it. It's why I say every week, get Patrick Mahomes and the little dumb yellow bird off of the TV and start telling people what they need to know to actually protect themselves, okay? And that's what we're about here. That's what this program is about. We're about saving lives, protecting property, and mitigating risk. Our customers in Oklahoma for the last 17 years now can tell you the stories of what resilience and what better building practices have done for them.
Okay. Before we do the After the Storm, I need to remind everybody that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. And now, our After the Storm tip.
It's just this simple, folks. Let's not waste another opportunity. When you have a storm in your neighborhood, in your city, in your geography, when you have a storm, that is an opportunity to, after the event, change future outcomes. Let's quit repeating the failures of the past. Let's start looking at what we can do to build better, and let's invest in doing that. This is the opportunity that exists in Chickasha, Oklahoma. This is the opportunity that exists in Yukon, in southwest Oklahoma City, in southeast Norman. These are the opportunities that exist. Don't get in a hurry to sign a contract with somebody who knocks on your door. Be sure you're asking questions about resiliency. What are you going to do to make sure that this failure does not recur for me on my roof? How are you going to ventilate my roof? Because ventilation is ultra critical to the performance of a roof long term. These are the questions consumers need to start asking. If you're not going to ask, you're relying on a contractor to inform you, and you may not get anything other than a setup for a repeat failure.
Well, and again, those door knockers, if you just ask them, what's your CIB number?
Let me see your orange card.
Yeah, they'll go, what? What are you talking about? So,
absolutely.
As we begin to wrap this up, I want to remind everybody of the reason for Memorial Day, to honor the fallen soldiers and sailors and service members of past wars. I have a couple in my family. I'll be thinking about my favorite cousin this weekend.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we all
have in our families.
Yeah.
So remember a fallen veteran, and please thank somebody who's still with us.
Yeah. All right. So cue the music. I say cue the music. I say cue the music.
I don't know. Where is it?
It was right on time. I was the one who was early. All right, Dad. So Dad's wisdom.
All right.
Keeping the theme of the show.
Yeah, this really isn't Dad's, but the definition of insanity, we all know what that is. Doing what we've always done and expecting a different outcome. It's just not going to happen. Consumers, the power is yours to change future outcomes relative to severe convective storms. And if you don't do that, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
That's right. You've been listening to episode number 59 of McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. Thank you, Scott McCullum. Thank you, Scotty McCullum. Thank you, Retro Radio Randy.
Have a great week, everybody. Happy Memorial Day.
Stay dry.
KQOB Enid, Oklahoma City, 2026, a celebration of freedom and the open road. Oklahoma's talk radio, the new Freedom